Please just listen to me. We need to give the little one back. Okay, bad things will happen.
Hello out there, great lambs and lambs. Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out a couple weeks ago and is a dark comedy with horror elements that is just really fantastic. We're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms, such as X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. Pretty much post on these regularly, so definitely check them out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out a couple weeks ago, and is a dark comedy with a horror element to it, which happens to be called Death of a Unicorn. Yeah, Death of a Unicorn. Yeah. So Death of a Unicorn is a new dark comedy horror film that's from A24 and has a great cast, great director, and just all around is a really fun and interesting film that takes a whole new light to horror, dark comedy / taking something that's usually considered, you know, cute and fluffy and turning it into a giant horror monster. Basically is what they do with this film. And I think that the writing in it was just really well done. I liked the concept, I liked the whole idea. I thought that, you know, the acting in it was done really well, and I just think overall they did a really great job of giving us this really great concept and turning it into this very much horror dark comedy type of element. Now, if you're not familiar with Death of a Unicorn, of course it has to do with unicorns, and unicorns are basically, in this film, considered, you know, giant monsters, basically, and they have teeth, and they kill people when they, you know, mess with their young, and this kind of stuff, and that's kind of, you know, the whole thought process of, you know, of unicorns in this universe, and that, you know, that we've had a complicated past with them and all this kind of stuff, and I think that's a really interesting and smart, like, new way of thinking of unicorns, and they did it so well in this film, giving us that great horror element, but at the same time taking something that would be considered, you know, cute and fluffy, and, like, people always think of unicorns as, they're just horses with horns, you know, type of deal, and I think that was a really great concept that worked out really well. Now, this film has to be directed none other by a gentleman that goes by the name of Mr. Alex Scarfman. Oh yeah, Alex Scarfman, woo, Alex Scarfman, yeah! So Alex Scarfman has done a few other, like, short films and small films, but this is really his first big theatrical film. And he hasn't directed anything else on the big screen, and so I can kind of consider this his directorial debut. Now, I think that Alex did a great job, like I said, with this film, with the writing, because he was the writer of the film, and I thought his concept was just such a cool concept. I mean, who would have thought of taking and doing a killer unicorn film? I mean, that is something that I feel that I have not seen done in other films. Maybe I've seen, like, oh, in Crossing they have evil creatures throughout the film, and maybe there's an evil unicorn, but not as the main bad guy, like, kind of like monster thing. And I think that was such a cool idea, and I just really enjoyed it. And I think that Alex did a great job of giving such great performances out of all the actors and actresses that were in this film. And I just really enjoyed what he did with it, because he combined a really good element of dark humor with this kind of, like, creature feature aspect. And I even feel like he took some, like, kudos from those classic, like, 70s and 80s horror films, or even the creature features from that time era, and really took it to heart and really applied it to the film, because there was a lot of, like, jump scares they did that were very similar to, like, when they're trying to figure out where is the creature and stuff like this, and all of a sudden it pops up and stuff like that. It was very similar to a lot of those films, and I thought Alex did such a great job with that and giving us this really solid horror dark comedy film. Now, like I said, I have not seen anything else he has directed. He's done a few other little shorts and stuff like that. But overall, I think that he just did a really great job with this film and gave us a really solid film to add to your collection. It just was a really amazing film that had great visuals, and I thought the music in the film was done really well too. So I think it's a really solid film, and I think Alex did a really good job with it. If you haven't seen anything Alex Skarfman has directed, definitely go check out Death of a Unicorn in theaters now. He did a phenomenal job. So this movie has a really stellar cast. Everyone in this film I absolutely love. I think they're all amazing actors and actresses, and they all play characters so well. And every film I've seen them in, they're always hilarious, always awesome. They can do serious, they can do comedy, they can do action. All of them are just really great actors and actresses, and they just all prove that they're just really amazing talent in anything they are in, and they really brought that to this film. Huge shout out to Richard E. Grant and also Tia Leone in this film. Both of them were also in this film, and they were absolutely fantastic. Richard E. Grant I absolutely love. He's always fun to watch. He's always enjoyable. He always brings great characterizations to his characters. Him as Odell in this film was really awesome. And then Tia Leone plays her usual Tia Leone self, I feel, and is always really a pleasure to watch and things, because she just always plays pretty much, I feel, the same characters, but just a little tad different. But she's always fun to watch. I think she was hilarious in this, and I thought she did a really good job. But to start us off is none other than kind of the main actor himself in the film, Mr. Paul Rudd. Oh yeah, Paul Rudd. Woo, Paul Rudd, yeah. So Paul Rudd you might recognize, of course, from the Ant-Man trilogy, or also Captain America Civil War. You might recognize him from Clueless. You might recognize him from What About Hot American Summer. You might recognize him for a slew of things over the years. And Paul Rudd is just such a great actor. I absolutely love him. I think he's fantastic. And he can play all different types of things, and he's always a pleasure to watch in anything I've ever seen him in. And I think that he just brings that greatness to his characters always, and he brought that in this film. It was fun seeing him play kind of an interesting character in this, kind of going back to usually how I felt he usually played his characters, where he was kind of a down-his-luck type of character, where he seemed a little I don't know how to, like, not really a loser, but at the same time just seemed very timid and stuff like that. And it was fun seeing him play that type of character again, especially after seeing him play Scott Lang for several years and being kind of just like this really awesome character of Ant-Man. It was nice to see him play kind of more of a normal, generalized role again. But once again, he's playing a single father of a daughter type of deal, and he always plays that character so well, and he brought that to life in this film. And I just really enjoyed some of his lines in the film. He did a great job there. I loved his relationship with Jenna Ortega's character. I enjoyed his relationship with his, kind of like his studio family, which is who he was working for. And I just think that overall, he was just really fantastic in the film and really delivered and brought this character from A to B and really given a great story arc. Now, if you haven't seen Paul Rudd anything, definitely a great film to check him out in that I absolutely loved him in. It's a great film that came out in 2010 called Dinner for Schmucks. Yeah, Dinner for Schmucks. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic in this film. Him and Steve Carell were amazing together. Super hilarious. Jermaine Clement was in it. Lucy Punch was in it. We had Bruce Greenfield in it. We had the hilarious Nick Kroll in it. We had, just a great, huge plethora of great comedians, Zach Galifianakis and so forth. And they all are so freaking funny in this film. And Paul was just such a great character. I love how he's like this, trying to get somewhere, but yet that's not really what his girlfriend wants, and he needs to realize, that the real treasure is just having her, that kind of deal. And he plays that character so well, and he has some great one-liners throughout the film. And you just absolutely fall in love with his character and really are rooting for him. And at the same time, you're like, Paul, don't do that, and Paul, don't do that, and stuff like that. And you're just like, oh, this is so hilarious and fun at the same time. And him and Steve Carell's, chemistry in this film is so fantastic and on point and just freaking hilarious and just such a great film that I think is very underrated and doesn't get enough recognition for how great Paul Rudd was in it. If you haven't seen Dinner for Schmucks, highly recommend checking it out for Paul Rudd's performance. He was absolutely superb in it. And I think he was absolutely superb in Death of Unicorn. He was fantastic. He worked so awesome with everyone in the film, and he just was a really great addition and playing his character in this film. If you haven't seen him recently or anything, go check him out in Death of Unicorn. He was absolutely superb. So that brings me to the next person I'd like to talk about those in this film. And that, of course, is the daughter of Paul Rudd in the film, Miss Jenna Ortega. Oh yeah, Jenna Ortega. Woo, Jenna Ortega. Yeah, Jenna Ortega. So Jenna Ortega, you might, of course, recognize from Wednesday, the Netflix series. You might recognize her from Scream 5. You might recognize her from a few other things over the years. And she is a really fun upcoming actress. I think that she has a lot of potential. She's really coming into her own and really bringing and creating these really great characters that are just always very entertaining, very sophisticated, and just really shows that she has quite a great range in playing her characters. And I think that she's really has grown in the last couple of years and really has, become an even better actress. And I really saw it in this film because I actually really enjoyed her in this film more than anything I'd ever seen before with her. And I just really enjoyed the kind of character she played. I thought that it was a lot more like a daughter role versus just being a whiny brat. And also I thought that she did a good job just kind of becoming more serious and more empathetic and all these different things. And I thought Jenna did a great job of bringing that to life and really emphasizing it throughout the whole entire film and really, bringing a great arching exit to her character throughout this film. And I just really thought that she worked really well with Paul Rudd, and they had a great chemistry, and they really felt like, a father and daughter duo that had, parted ways because of the death of a family member, but then kind of become united again and are kind of reunited. And I thought they did a good job of presenting that and making it seem really real, like they really were father and daughter. And I thought Jenna did a great job of that, presenting that and playing that character, which was really fun. And I really enjoyed how she was very, in certain situations, like, Dad, don't do that, and this and that, and stuff like that, and really felt like, that she was very empathetic and really, sad, and I thought she did a really good job there. And I really enjoyed some of her one-liners that she had throughout the film as well. Now, if you haven't seen Jenna Ortega in anything, definitely a great film to check her out in, and it's probably the first film I actually really enjoyed her in. And that, of course, is a film called Scream 6. Yeah! Scream 6. Yeah! So she was absolutely fantastic in Scream 6 as Tara again, and I really enjoyed just what she brought in the evolution of her character from 5 to 6. And I just thought that she really brought it a lot more in that film and really grew and really became a better character and became a better actress. She just really became, I felt, a lot more like Tara and actually wasn't such a whiny little complaining character that really didn't help anything and just was like, oh, boo-hoo me, and which was so different in 6, and it was so nice to see her, evolve and really take that and really bring the character to a whole new arc in that film. And I just thought Jenna was amazing and really brought that. If you haven't seen Jenna Ortega or anything, definitely check her out in Scream 6. She was absolutely fantastic in that. But overall, I really enjoyed her in Death of Unicorn. I thought she was a great addition, a great casting choice that really delivered and really made the film better, very entertaining. If you haven't seen Jenna Ortega or anything, definitely go check her out in Death of Unicorn now in theaters. Worth the watch. Amazing. She was fantastic and absolutely superb. So that brings me to the final actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film. And that is none other than the son of the rich couple, called and named Mr. Will Poulter. Oh yeah, Will Poulter. Woo, Will Poulter, yeah. So Will Poulter, you might recognize from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You might recognize him from a few other things over the years, We Are the Millers and so forth. And he is just a really great up-and-coming rising star who I absolutely just enjoy. I think he's super great at comedy, and I think he do all types of different elements. And he just is really good at comic timing and all that kind of stuff, and he just is always fun to watch. I think he's absolutely hilarious. and I just enjoy anything he's in and what he brings to his performances. And I think he has a lot more talent than a lot of people give, and I think he's shown that throughout his films that he's done. And he does that in Death of a Unicorn. He was absolutely freaking awesome in this film. I love some of his one-liners throughout the film. I love his interaction with all the different characters and stuff like that. Especially the scene where he's like, him and Paul Rudd are talking, and he's like, you want to come in the hot tub with me? And he's like, Griff, bring a pair of short trim trucks. And he's like, no, I don't want to swim. He's like, Griff, forget that. It was absolutely freaking awesome and hilarious. It just really works well in the film. It just really shows how talented Will is. And I just really enjoyed him throughout the whole entire film. And even his demise, at the end of the film is hilarious and fun and just works out well for his character. And it just really shows his great talent even in that moment. Now, if you haven't seen anything Will Poulter has been in, definitely a great movie series to check him out in. Is a great trilogy that came out a few years back that's based on a book series called The Maze Runners. Yeah, The Maze Runners. Yeah. He was absolutely fantastic in these films. I totally forgot he was in them because he really doesn't have... He has a good amount of portion of the film, but at the same time, he doesn't always get very memorable things to say or do. And he still is a really great character, though, because he's in all 3 films, and he really delivers with what little he is given. And I think that film series really shows his great dramatic elements and his sci-fi elements and kind of that more serious element that he is good at acting, and that he's not just a comedian type of kid, and that he can actually do all kinds of different types of stuff. And he just did a really good job in that film series, giving us these really great dramatic elements that worked really well with him, and he just was a really great character in it. If you haven't seen Will Poulter or anything, definitely check him out in the Maze Runner films. He was absolutely fantastic. But I absolutely loved him in Death of the Unicorn. I think he was a great addition to the cast and just really played the character so well, and it was just so awesome. If you haven't seen him recently or anything, go check him out in Death of the Unicorn. He was absolutely terrific. So what is Death of the Unicorn about? Basically, the premise of the story is Paul Rudd's character and his daughter are on their way to this compound where his boss lives, and they accidentally hit something on the road, and they're not sure exactly what it is, but it looks definitely like it's a unicorn. And then when they end up bringing it back to the compound, its parents come for it, and basically it's about them trying to survive and not be killed by the other unicorns. And it's up to them to figure out what to do to get the unicorns to stop killing them all. It's a really fantastic film, really well done. I thought it was so well written, so well acted, great special effects, great, songs, music, and everything throughout the film, and just everyone did a really fantastic job bringing this film to life. If you have not seen it, highly recommend you go check it out in theaters now. Such a great film, super fun and just really enjoyable, and all around a great film. Giant 10 Golden movie boxes up, can't wait to add to the collection. It just is a really superb monster film, dark comedy film. Check it out, people. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you might not see mine yet. And as always, people, huge shout out to my subscribers, new and old. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. But if you want to really help the channel out, help support it, help bring it, make it better and stronger, please check out my awesome Patreon, where once you become a member, you get all kinds of access to cool accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel, and it helps support the channel. So please check that out. As always, catch you in the next one.